Could see more superstorms like Sandy, along with massive wildfires, epic flooding, and drought. A new report says they could be worse than anything we've faced in 500 years. The World Meteorological Association says the last decade was the warmest ever. We saw new heat records on land and at sea. Plus, it was the wettest period in a century, with more floods and hurricanes. Professor Michio Kaku is a physicist at the City University of New York and a CBS This Morning contributor. Professor, good morning.
Morning.
How significant is this report?
This report is devastating. You know, you don't need a weatherman to know that something is terribly wrong with the weather. Everywhere I go, people say the weather's out of control. 100-year flooding, 100-year heat waves, especially in Europe, 100-year storms. And this report summarizes it all. The last decade has gone down as the hottest decade ever recorded in the history of science. You have to go back to 1850.
Waves as high as 7 meters pounded homes and businesses on Chile's coastline. The extreme conditions started on Wednesday, with weather experts warning they could last until the weekend. High winds caused the tidal surges, which have led emergency services to issue weather warnings to 11 regions in the South American country, predicting strong winds, high tides and large waves. In the city of Villa del Mar, about 120 kilometers west of the capital Santiago, the waves washed over sea defenses, flooding coastal streets and damaging homes and businesses. Seaside resorts also suffered, and one port was forced to close to all vessels. In another area, 8 homes were flooded and 32 people affected.
A lot of folks around the country found themselves dealing with extreme weather on this first day of the holiday weekend. Look at this. It seemed more like the middle of winter in Santa Rosa, New Mexico, after a storm dumped more than a foot of hail. They had to call out the snowplows. Many homes and businesses were damaged.
And here's the pictures. Take a look at the roof here, completely overtaken by the weight of the hail. Reportedly paintball-sized hail. And by the looks of these pictures, it sure does look like winter.
We are well into summer, but it sure doesn't look like it in this New Mexico town, covered in white after a storm dumps buckets of hail, leaving plenty of damage behind, too.
Along the Florida Panhandle today, heavy rain and thunderstorms caused flash flooding. In several areas, as much as 20 inches of rain has fallen since this morning. And highly dangerous rip currents forged.
Let me tell you what's going to happen down there in Florida. They're going to get these big-ass snakes and everything. They're going to grow so fast. They're going to have what you call accelerated growth. The electromagnetism is going to get in these snakes and these alligators and everything that's aquatic, and turtles and everything. They're going to get so big because there's going to be so much water falling on the earth. You know how I showed you the electromagnetism can get in the water? Well, that same magic of that electromagnetism is what controls the vibrations all around the earth, and growth is a vibration, it's movement. So believe me, you're going to have some serious growth in all of the alligators, even fish. Fish is going to be so big because all of it is not going to die. The ones that can go real deep down in the ocean is going to be able to escape the poisons and everything, and they're going to have to come up looking for something to eat because their food source of smaller fish is going to be dead. And guess what they're going to start eating? Just like they told you before, people. All the animals on earth is going to become very big time adversaries to the humans on this earth because we've done it to them. So get ready for it.
Beaches in Florida and Alabama to close.
Таганрог проходим. Такие истории обитают.
Mexico's Popocatépetl volcano has erupted in dramatic fashion, sending plumes of ash-filled smoke into the air. A 12-kilometre safety radius around the volcano has been put in place. But Popocatépetl is also having a major disruptive effect on air travel. At least 6 US airlines have cancelled flights out of Mexico City and Toluca Airport, affecting routes as far afield as Dallas to Chicago. Passengers have no alternative but to sit it out and wait.
And if you're thinking about traveling to China, you might want to avoid this place. Take a peek. A massive mess of green algae has taken over in the waters off the resort area of Shandong province.
The algae first started appearing in the middle of June, and reports say it spread along the coast from Jiangsu province to Shandong Peninsula.
So just how much algae is here? Well, according to the local environmental and sanitation officials, they're clearing out 11 million pounds of this stuff every day.
Yes, I know algae is always green, so of course you're going to say, you always got to say something about everything being green. Yeah, it's always green, but have you ever saw it in that large amount, and have you ever saw it just float onto shore like that? Seems to me like nature's trying to talk to someone. She's saying, you see this green right here? Do you see the green in the fire? It's because I'm getting ready to regenerate this earth. So all this materialism, as Asar, my son, has been telling you, my brother has been telling you, my husband has been telling you, we're getting rid of all this materialism and we're going to re-green this earth. And the people who destroyed the greenness of this earth, as well as the blackness of this earth, sign out.
Much rain and heavy flooding has trapped hundreds of residents in their homes in East China's Anhui province. Forces have already rescued up to 300 people after the floods raised water levels to 3 meters high in the mountainous areas of New Zealand. The downpours of 200 millimeters of rainfall have isolated the Huibi village, turning it into an island. Firefighters have had to rescue residents using boats.
I want to take the time out to say that I love the way that everybody in Vancouver and Portland, it seems to be changing, and that's really good. So don't get mad. Don't even hold it responsibility of what I'm saying is directed towards you, because that ain't what's going on. What's going on is that I gotta say this. The universe makes me say that, and it's saying I don't care if every person on this earth changed tonight, and you can see all the good things that's coming emanating from people. You keep singing this song until I tell you to stop. I myself want to stop, you know, but there's something inside of me that keep me doing it, and I know what it is. It's spirit. But believe me, do you know how frustrating it is to do all this work and put all these videos up, and then I see 3 views, 6 views, 5 views, 4 views? I know it's more than that. But what I'm saying is the toll that it takes on my physicality, when I know for a fact that everything out here is done so we can change the consciousness of people, but then we see the power that be still in effect with their lying asses. And that's why I'm going to keep on telling the story until the powers that be is not going to be able to be anymore telling any more lies to people to make us all become idiots like we became and be dissension every damn where, which makes the earth say, I'm just getting rid of all their asses. I warned y'all. I warned you. I started telling you this shit 2 years ago, and you can see they tearing China ass up. And I know why, because China was a major threat to everyone. The United States done got their ass in debt with China, and these people more than anybody was going to come over here and get in our ass and try to collect their money off the citizens. But they got their hands full with so much earth change in their own land that they can't do anything with their military, as you can see right here, itself take care of their own people. They got their hands full, otherwise they be all up in our ass.
And searched every household in the township.
Well, let's get back to that major storm in southern Ontario. Heavy rains brought severe flooding to Toronto and the surrounding areas. This was just the first wave of a major storm system that hit at the peak of the afternoon rush hour.
More than a month's worth of rain in just 2 hours, wreaking havoc with the city.
This morning, flash flooding dumped a record amount of rain.
See, this is what they never tell you. I want to show you something, how they will make you overlook this.
Well, let's get back to that major storm.
I told you guys water was going to come from the ground too, didn't I?
Severe flooding to Toronto and the surrounding areas. This was just the first wave of a major storm system that hit at the peak of...
Look at that. Water coming from the ground, squirting up into the sky like geysers. So the flood is coming from out of the earth. It's not raining, it's coming out of the earth. And if it was just rising, that's one thing. But look at this. It's got pressure behind it, squirting up into the air so the universe can show you, I'm bringing the water from the depths to get y'all asses. You can see it.
The afternoon rush hour.
More than a month
to 3 meters high in the mountainous areas of New Zealand.
Look at that.
The downpours of 200 millimeters of rainfall have isolated the Hawaii village, turning it into an island. Firefighters have had to rescue residents using boats and searched every household in the township.
Well, let's get back to that major storm in southern Ontario. Heavy rains brought severe flooding to Toronto and the surrounding areas.
Look at that. See it bubbling up? It's coming from underground, and if you can see, it's black to let you know this is melanin at work. Look at it, bubbling up from underground. I told you 2 years ago, water is going to come from the recesses of the earth to drown your ass. Now look at it.
This was just the first wave of a major storm system that hit at the peak of the afternoon rush hour.
More than a month's worth of rain in just 2 hours, wreaking havoc with the city.
This morning, flash flooding dumped a record amount of rain.
Look at that shit.
4 inches around Toronto. 300,000 customers lost power. The subway system was shut down and may not be back in full strength today. 1,400 commuters were trapped.
And they're going to call it flash flooding when we just saw the water coming from the ground, squirting up like that. That means that the recessed water in the ground is being put under pressure and shot up. And the universe showed you that. It showed you that.
That hit at the peak of the afternoon rush hour.
More than a month's worth of rain in just 2 hours,
and shit in the middle of the city.
This morning, flash flooding dumped a record amount of rain. Nearly 4 inches around Toronto. 300,000 customers lost power. The subway system was shut down and may not...
I want to show you something.
In a month's worth of rain in just 2 hours, wreaking havoc with the city.
This morning, flash flooding dumped a record amount of rain.
Look back here. Look at the green light. Look at that. Just so you can know who's responsible. See, you gotta have an eye to see that. That's why I was sent here, to show you all this shit. Otherwise, it'll go right over you guys' head. But look at it. Everywhere you look, that green light is there saying, oh yeah, my brother is right. It's me. It's been me all the time. Feel me?
Nearly 4 inches around Toronto. 300,000 customers lost power. The subway system was shut down and may not be back in full strength today. 1,400 commuters were trapped for hours until early.
Look at the train. Look what color it is. Do you see? Look at that. It's green. Just like that green truck that almost fell on that man. You guys better wake up. You had a chance to get the green light. I'm just going to wait till my sister whoop that ass real good. And then when you buy the green light, this time the shit going to cost your ass $50 a bottle.
This morning,
126 millimeters of rain fell. That is the most that has ever fallen in Toronto on a single day. It turned roads into rivers, and though the damage is not on the same scale as Calgary's flash floods last month, there is massive disruption.
Some drivers were forced to abandon their cars after being completely submerged. Dozens of flights to and from Toronto were canceled.
And I'm reading the paper today